choosing not to do something because it was easy for me, and choosing something that was hard for me because somehow that had more value, had greater value. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Dr. Laura Ciel. This one is for you if you have ever thought about making a big change and you have all the feelings. And you might think it's too late, or you might think it might not work, or you might not find something better. Whatever it is, this is for you. And I'm going to share a little bit more. I'm going to share a little story because I did have a couple of people write me and say they wanted to know a little bit more about who I am. And there's so many different places to start on that, but with this idea of change, because the truth is this right now, everyone and everything is changing, honestly. Everything. And if you look at, I'm sitting up here. If you see me looking out, I'm looking out. It's such a beautiful late spring day in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. And when I was here just a couple of weeks ago, there were no leaves on the aspen trees. Isn't that just fascinating, the change? If you looked at those trees, I guess it was about a month ago when I was here last, nothing. They were just the trunk and the branches, right? Change. It happens. It's natural. It's part of our life, and nature shares that with us. So I don't know what made me, the story that I thought of when I was thinking about change was, well, a couple of them popped up, but this one, it's it's an example of a change in a mindset, really. So maybe you have that, where maybe you were just built, right? Like just who you were from a little person, built to see the world or approach the world in a certain way. And maybe you've come to learn years down the road that maybe there's another possibility, or maybe you want to add to it, or maybe you want to try something different. When I was really young, so my dad ran track and he was really good. And guess what? As one of his daughters, I got to practice running a lot along with other sports when I was growing up, my sister and I. And I remember vividly, I think I was 6 years old. I think I was 6. I'll take a look at the photograph. I'm sure it's time-stamped. But my dad took me to this race. I don't know, in our community, in our town, this race. It was like a 100-yard dash. And it's pretty funny because, like back then, I think I was wearing some really cool 60s, 70s bell-bottom pants and who knows, little kid shoes and a t-shirt. And we went out, the kids in my range for the race, and it was boys and girls, right? It wasn't separated. I don't think there were enough of us to separate it. And I honestly don't remember the age range that it was, but I remember thinking two things. One, this will be so easy. And then the other one's just kind of looking at everyone else and thinking, well, maybe not, right? So there's that doubt that came in. But I do remember thinking this will be so easy. So they had a gun that started us off. On your mark, get set, go, boom. And I took off running because that was the mission, right? I knew where the finish line was. And I was so far ahead of the other kids that this is a 100-meter dash. It's not that far, or it probably was a 100-yard dash back then. I was so far ahead of the other kids that I was certain I had done something wrong. So what did I do? I stopped and turned around to see if I made a mistake. Well, we all know what happened when I stopped. Kids just started passing me. Well, I probably not too many because I still ended up, I quickly reorganized and was so mad at myself. But I quickly reorganized. I think I ended up getting second place, maybe third. I don't remember. I did not get first place. That I remember. It was a red ribbon. Maybe it was third place. I don't know. Second or third. I got a ribbon. Oh, maybe it was a participation ribbon. I honestly don't remember because I was so mad at myself because I knew I could do it and I doubted myself because I was doing it. So, what does that have to do with change? It's just an example of something in mind. Like you can think about your own self, your personality, your style, how you approach things. For me, one of the things that I have noticed is when something is really easy for me, and we all have those things, right? I doubt my ability because there's some strange thing in my head that says, well, if it's that easy, I have to be doing it wrong. Where did that come from? And it has impacted, it's impacted career choice. It has impacted so many different things, right? So there's a part, the kind of flip side of that is it must be difficult in order to be worthy or to do it right. Oh, how messed up is that? Right? So I was making decisions based on doing something, not choosing not to do something because it was easy for me, and choosing something that was hard for me because somehow that had more value, had greater value. That's pretty messed up. But it it took a while in my life to recognize that that was that I was making choices that were actually not the best choices for me because I had this weird mindset around ease. Something being easy and something being hard, or something being easy and something being valuable. So I just invite you to think about, is there anything that you've kind of noticed about yourself that is something that has led to you making decisions that maybe if you were to look back, you might not make the same decisions. Now that's a tricky thing because I look back and I think every decision I made allowed me to learn and grow, and I wouldn't be who I am today had I not made them. So I don't have regrets about it. But if we were to just isolate an event, I would have killed that race. I would have been so far ahead and in first place, no doubt. Yeah, I would isolate that and and do that over again. But what I the reason why that or how that connects in with change is when there's any sort of change that we're instigating or is being forced upon us for whatever reason, uh, the patterns that are kind of built in from childhood, they're running the show most of the time unless we consciously stop and shift our mindset, right? So when I am in a season, and so many of my clients are in this season of unbelievable change, right? I'm changing where my home base is. I'm adding some things to my work. Like I'm writing a travel romance novel. That's a big change for me. Um, I'm I'm out of a long-term relationship. So that's a big change for me. And honestly, almost every single person I'm talking to right now, it could be a health change. I also have some health stuff going on. My eyes are so, well, they used to have my eyelids were spasming, and now they're just so hypersensitive to light and to wind, to breeze. I haven't figured out what's going on yet. So there's physical change, right? So there's physical change, there's relationship change, there's work change, there's location change. Maybe you can relate to one or more of them because most of the people I meet have some change going on. So why is this important? And what does this story about running a 100-yard dash and not crushing it have to do with anything? For me, what I consciously am intending is to look for what is not only fun, but also where there's ease. And that has not been my life up to now. I mean, you you think I might have learned when I was 6 years old? No. I had to learn that lesson a number of times and keep doing things that were really hard. Somehow that hard work meant that it was valuable, and if it was easy, it was not valuable. Um, so for me, looking at all of this change that's in my life right now, I'm looking for fun. I'm looking for an energy pull. I'm looking for ease. What seems fun and that it feels easy is not exactly the right word because easy, I don't know, maybe that's still my old program running, but it's like with ease, with ease, with joy, that it's not that there's not hard work. Obviously, everything requires hard work at times. You just need to put it in, but there's a different, uh, there is an ease or yeah, maybe it's just an alignment that just fits, that feels right. And then you don't mind the hard work so much. So that's an example for me. And if you think about your own life and any changes that are happening, um, thinking about this, am I coming from a place of fear, is a really good thing to ask yourself. And then if you're able to manage that and set the fear aside and look at really what you want to choose going forward, I like to think about what would that old pattern choose? Does that feel right? Does that feel in alignment right now in my life or not? What would it look like in my case? What would it look like to make the choice that feels that there's more ease and more joy? And honestly, it feels better. I mean, even if I go back to that race example, it didn't feel good to get whatever ribbon I got. It didn't feel good because that wasn't really me. I mean, it was because I stopped myself. But had I just trusted myself, it would have been a different scenario. So going forward, if I have a change to make, I want to trust myself, not rely on the others around me. And what do I choose? You know, do I choose to go for that? Do I choose to go this direction or do I choose to go that direction? Do I choose to speak to this person at this event or do I choose to speak to this person at the event? Do I choose to spend time and energy with these people or not? Do I choose to continue doing a podcast? Do I choose to write that romance travel novel using audio because I can't concentrate on a screen for very long. I can't write the way that I'm used to writing. So do I choose do I choose to try something different that feels a little bit odd or different? Does that feel aligned? So change is happening. We always want to look at whether or not fear is coming up, and we want to shift our mindset and really go into a place of gratitude and come from a place of love. But on top of that, just think about your life and think about decisions that you've made. Think about your own stories, even from childhood. We can get a lot of little windows into who we are when we look at our childhood stories. Um, and bring that in as you make decisions about going forward, in any area of your life, because the changes are happening everywhere and anywhere right now. So just a few thoughts for you today, and for me too, to talk about that. I'm excited to share more about some of the changes that are happening in my life and in my work. Um, if you already have been a client, or want to be a client, let me know. If you want to know more, you can get on my mailing list. But there may be some fun, different things happening in the next, well, forever I'll be forever changing. I hope you will be too. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening in. And I challenge you to look for one area that maybe is time to change and to open up to new possibilities and new connections. Have a wonderful day.